another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, I'm love for you. Yeah, baby, I'm love for you. Baby, come down to love for you. Let me show you how to love for you. Love for you.
Tell y'all about my big bro Gerard in the podcast crew.
Hey, everyone. And so, look, the floor is yours. I hope y'all was vibing out like me on this Thursday evening, okay? I had a song in my head that I was trying to get rid of before, and I'm not going to do it, Gerard. I am not, okay?
But maybe later. Huh? Maybe later.
The floor is yours, okay, y'all? So welcome, okay? Well. So we are here tonight. I am your girl, Carleeka, Katrina Bass Knight, Mundendez, yes, all of that. And I'm here, of course, on the Floor is Yours podcast with my big brother, Gerard, where GW, and we are just going to have a great conversation on tonight. And so go ahead. We're already going to say thank you for tuning in. Join the conversation. Light the chat up. Be active. Put your thoughts, your recommendations, all of those things. Just get into it with us, right? And then, of course, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and share it, because why not? All you have to do is take 1 to 2 seconds, hit that share button, and share it out with your community, your family, friends, your coworkers, or whoever you would like to. And so we hope that all of you all have had an amazing day on today. Gerard, like, how was your day, bro?
It was busy, but you know what's new? I think I would be surprised if I wasn't busy, but you know, it's productive. It's not just busy work, it was productive, and guess what? He's still seated.
I love it.
Yeah.
I had a good day today, right? I did a prayer on this morning talking about perseverance. I'm talking about like 6 in the morning, okay, y'all, like in our Women Who Pray community. So to those listening tonight, right, it's about perseverance. It's about pushing through in face of the challenges. If you tears streaming down your face, whatever that looks like for you, keep pushing. Like, don't quit. You're closer to your harvest. You're closer to the goal and the reward than you think you are. And so that's my words of encouragement for this part right now, because it'll probably something else will come up. But I had a day today. So look, what we talking about?
Minding our Black-owned businesses. You know, the thing is, we can come up with a host of topics. All you got to do is watch the news. But sometimes getting caught up in the world affairs, we forget these important like details of like our day-to-day living, how, especially for entrepreneurs, you know, how do we stay, you know, relevant? And then for us, we want to make sure that we're good patrons when we visit these businesses. So that's the thing I want to talk about. It's minding our Black-owned businesses, especially during times such as these.
Man, that's I'm just sitting here thinking about some instances I've had with businesses, right? And so you all, tonight we're bringing this information because a lot of times, you know, the floor is yours is always going to talk about topics sometimes that people want to tiptoe around or don't even have the conversations because we don't want to offend anyone or whatever the case may be. But it's really information and conversation to make your business better. Right? Yeah. We should all be looking at ways of how to become better. So one of those things for me, when I'm online, like looking up an Airbnb or looking up a restaurant, the first thing I go to, like I look at some of the positive reviews, but wholeheartedly, I look at the negative reviews too.
Of course. Yeah.
Right? Just trying to get a feel. And we know some things are personal preference, but when I start seeing a trend of people saying the same thing, like, oh, the customer service was not good, or you see the same name of someone that was like, oh my God, this waiter or this waitress or this person was the best ever, right? Yeah. That is commendable. But what about those instances where you just like, should I put this review out or not?
Right. And that's a real thing, right? Because let's be honest, I I've been guilty of it before. I've had to check myself, but sometimes we're swift when it comes to reporting us or writing a review on something negative, but we don't give that same energy when it's time to be some positive. So I want to talk about that as well tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so me personally, I'm gonna let y'all in on what Carleeka Bass Night Menendez does. Okay. Yeah. So for me, I love highlighting the positive. One, because we are surrounded by negativity all of the time. And some of y'all listening, just negative people. Okay. Yeah. Right. Like, even if the service was good, have you ever met people who look for something to be wrong? Yeah. Like, you look at high, low. Oh my God, they had a dust over there. Your house dusty.
Why they wearing the color?
Right.
Yeah, anything. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of those things for me. I don't typically leave. I might read negative reviews, but I typically do not leave a negative review. And this is the reason why. Because if I did not have the best experience, before I leave that establishment, I have already personally addressed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm asking for the manager potentially, or if the waitress seems like, or waiter seems like they just not feeling it tonight, they just kind of, short, they kind of rude. I even have had conversations with them, asking them, hey, are you having a good night tonight? Or I really pray that your day gets better, and different things as well. Right. Have I left established because of poor customer service? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And those are good things to consider, and we're gonna get into all that. But just to get the conversation started, I got this video, and this video, I'll be honest and just transparent with y'all, it captures a lot of the stereotypes, and I hesitated about sharing it initially, but I'm like, you know what, I think this states a lot of what I see anyway when I'm talking to people about their experiences with Black-owned business. So I'm gonna show this video, and after we're gonna come back and unpack it.
Sounds good.
Black people want you to accept the bare minimum. If they open up a business, the service is trash. I'm only saying it because I've experienced it more times than not. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
And they're never professional, bro.
Talk to them.
Like, when I say, like, when it comes to Black-owned businesses, you always got to worry about, are they going to be on time? Are they going to have good communication? Are they going to provide good customer service and not get mad when you have something that's wrong with their service?
That's a fact.
And they expect you to pay the top price for shitty quality, service, which is insane to me.
That's a fact. They want the biggest reward for the least work.
Listen, let me say this first of all. I always cringe when I see people group entire, groups of people in one category. And he's saying Black-owned businesses, they always, and they do. And it's not always the truth. And what's crazy is the hypocrisy even in their statement. Maybe they're not even aware of it, but they're a Black business. And they might not be, bringing in money, but are they going to say the same thing about themselves? Are they included in that group, right? So that's one of my angst, is like when you say Black-owned businesses are not professional, like maybe you need to consider where you're going to do business and why are you frequenting them. And maybe you need to expand your horizon, because I know of some professional Black business. Shout out to Mogul Media, but there are a lot of professional Black businesses out there. So that was part of my issue. And the audience too, whatever you saw in that video, if you got issues with it, your thoughts on it, share it with us and we'll make sure we comment and share your comment. But what's your thoughts on the video, Carleeka?
So for me, I'm with you. We can't group everyone together, right? It's like in workplaces where sometimes people try to group, or say, not even just in the workplace, just in general, right? In the world, you try to group all Black women the same, right? That we have attitude problems. We don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to get along, all of these things. And though some of those things can be true, it's not just Black women, right? It's not just angry Black women. It's not just deadbeat Black daddies out here, right? So we can't group everything together. So I definitely agree with you on that. Now, have we been to some businesses where people still don't know how to tell time and think that I should accept it because we are of the same race? Absolutely not. Because take hair salons, for instance, right? You want to charge me for being late. What are you charging yourself when you late?
Grace.
You want to retain your clients, right?
Yeah.
I remember, and of course, I'm not putting any names out of any business, but I love this lady doing my hair, okay? Loved, but I already knew, right? But now when you think about this in hindsight, why should I have felt that I know if I book with her, I better not have anything going on for the day, because I already knew half of my day or more was going to be in her shop. Where else would we have found that acceptable, right? To even have like, okay, I know when I go here, and I'm not talking about, you getting some braids 36 inches long, and that's going to take some time, right? Unless you go into the African shop where they got 5-6 people on your head or something like that. But in reasonable time, right? I should never have to rearrange my whole entire schedule. So now we're talking about accountability. We're talking about retention of your clients. We're talking about customer service. So for me, even with that video, though some aspects may be true, I'm with you, Gerard. I have had some amazing experiences from Black businesses.
Yeah.
I will continuously support them because, one, I'm huge on customer service. From the time I walk in the door. This is the thing. It's like relationships. Everyone wants certain things in a relationship, but are you the one also giving these things?
Yeah, that's the other part too. Yeah, sometimes we go in and you were talking about we don't want to take if I'm a business, I don't want to take the customer for granted. Hey, these are Black people. They're going to be cool, so I can get them subpar, service, or, just take them for granted. I think it's the other way around too. So I want to talk about the whole customer service aspect. And the reason being, you and I was talking about this when we did the Father's Day show a couple weeks ago. And we talked about how sometimes you walk into an establishment and you've had the times where they don't even greet you. They just look at you like extended period of time. And you looking back like, yeah. So it's not uncommon. So it's not a one-off. And this is not just at Black-owned businesses. I've been to the local McDonald's to grab some fries, or the one time I got lucky when the ice cream machine was working, right. And I pulled up to give my card and she just looked at me like, and I'm just like, and that was it. And I was like, man, is that where we are? So that is, again, it's not only at Black-owned businesses. It happens at other establishments too. But what's the commonality in that is that it's us doing it. And so the customer service portion of it, is it important to greet your customer?
Absolutely. Okay. Right. I used to be, and I still am kind of this person, right? I've learned to give a little more grace because I have to look at, okay, but this is the thing, no matter what, you don't know the things on the back end, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I used to be that person. As soon as I walked in the store, if you didn't speak or greet, I just left. It wasn't that serious for me, right? But I didn't leave abruptly or like, oh, so you're not gonna say nothing. You just not. I would just leave, right? Because I'm just like, you, especially in instances, you're standing there, you have no customers.
Yeah.
You're not doing any paperwork.
Yeah.
Right. And even taking a moment to lift your head up to acknowledge that someone has come in. Like, this is just basic manners 101.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Now, of course, we were trained when you enter the house, you speak.
Yeah.
So it could be part of training. And I mean, honestly, I used to work in retail.
Yeah.
It's not every day that I felt like greeting the most rudest customer ever or anything. Every day I may not have felt like doing that, but I did make it my business.
Yeah. It just seemed proper and polite and appropriate. Like when somebody come in, you just speak. And not
then,
just
I used to be a little facetious with some stuff. So I would go in and then if they didn't speak, well, you know what? Because I have great customer service, exceptional customer service, I'm going to show you how I want to be treated in the store. Maybe you didn't get this in training, or maybe you need a refresh course, right? So then I will purposely, I should have been one of those people that do the secret shopping.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hi, how are you doing today? Are you having a good day? Yeah. And then they looking like,
you made me speak.
Because they probably looking like, do she work here?
Yeah. I got a homeboy. He used to take this approach. He'll come in if they didn't speak. He about to put on the whole show. No, what's wrong with you? I ain't wake up with you. Like, he's doing that kind of thing. Now he literally broke. No, he broke the ice with him, and now they're laughing. But that's on the part, like, what can we do as a patron, as a customer, to come in and maybe it's a teaching moment. Because let's be honest, I'm sure you've seen this. You walk in the store and you see this
all the time.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, but if no one has told them,
some of them now, you be right at the register, and it's like, do I need to go to another register? I see you busy, right?
Yeah. So surely a lot of main, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Chain restaurants. It's part of their guidelines, their bylaws. It's not happening. But you come to us and then you see that, and it's like, man, like, whose responsibility is it? I know there's some self-responsibility on knowing, but sometimes if you don't know, you don't know. So I like your approach as a customer, like, let me go ahead and engage them in some conversation and talk to them before I go and put that negative review.
Exactly. So like I said, I mean, for me to have but like I said, even for me to put a negative review, right? Which I've never put a negative review, because like I said, I'm going to address it before I leave the establishment, and then I get to choose if I want to give it another try, or I just don't go back. Like, I don't have to put a negative review. And don't get me wrong, I know reviews are good because it gives people a gist of, but we still have to realize too, everyone have their own personal biases. Everyone have their own personal standards with certain things, and everyone have their own personal way they like things done, right? Yeah. So, and I've seen it on the other end. I've seen it where establishments have really been the nicest and everything with people, right?
Yeah.
And people have treated them horribly, and I'm just like,
Why
are you talking to them like that?
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Okay, so you like to resolve it while you're there, if it's appropriate, if you have the time. You come in to my establishment and I don't speak, but I give you your food. The food is amazing, but I'm just not as personable. How do you address this, or what are some ways that you can address that?
So one, I think kindness and compliments go a long way. Right. Okay. Because in those moments, it's like what they used to say, a first impression is a lasting impression. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times you don't get a moment just to fully analyze, oh, is this person an extrovert? Are they an introvert? Without saying, well, maybe they just need another job, right? Because I'm sure some of us have said that too. Like, well, if you don't like working here, just get you another job. Yeah. Well, have someone at your place of employment or as an entrepreneur felt the same way about you and said, oh, maybe they should not be the greeter at church because you do not have a greeting spirit. Okay. Keep them peppermints in that basket because your attitude stink. Okay. Go up there and get your life together with Jesus. Right. So I think establishments need to understand their people. Right. And when you understand your people without sometimes understanding, hey, today maybe someone called out, maybe 3 people called out. It's a shortage, right? So before we jump to these massive conclusions, we could dig a little deeper to lighten up the situation. So for me, the food was good. Okay, if the food was 10 out of 10, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. My server, okay, maybe you don't get a 10 out of 10 today. Okay. Yeah. But maybe you get a 9, an 8, or a 9 out of 10. Mm-hmm. I can't really ding you for not being personable. That may be your personality. Okay. But I could I can choose to engage with you, right? And that engagement may be, hey, so what's your favorite dish on the menu? Or what's something that you recommend? I cannot expect you to be like, oh my God, I think you should.
Hey, but listen, with that example you just gave, I went to McAllister's once out in Plano here in Dallas. And I asked the lady, I can't remember which sandwich. And I asked her about it, like, hey, how is this sandwich? I haven't had it.
Oh, okay. So what have you had on the menu?
Yeah, and that's the thing. If I haven't had, I just started working here, or I don't really. But I've heard that it's a nice sandwich, or it's a popular sandwich. A lot of people get it, and I think you arm yourself with other type of information, and those things are taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
so
don't
it goes
know.
to training, because
Yeah.
she could have, like you said, she could have said that, or she could have asked you, I mean, what are you feeling today? Like, what's some of your favorite things? Then I can potentially suggest something on the menu. So one, it goes, do you know how to communicate?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people do not know how to communicate effectively on both ends. So someone else would have took that like, oh my gosh, she got an attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. So in that instance, would you say, hey, write a review? Hey, can I talk to the manager offline? I mean, would you even take the time to address that?
So for that, I would just have, me personally, I just been like, oh, okay, cool. So have you heard anything about the sandwich, or do you have any other recommendations outside of the sandwich? You know, what's some of you all's best sellers that you see being a waitress or waiter all of the time?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I would have put the ball kind of back in her court, because I can't assume that everyone has tasted everything off of the menu.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't assume that you even like the food at the place that you work at.
That's true. But that doesn't take away or negate the need for good customer service. And another one is following up on a customer issue. I was just talking to a coworker. She was traveling for work, and she bit into her food and pulled a big long hair out of her fish. And the manager was very dismissive. It was like, oh, okay, we'll just take it off, and just, walked off like it was nothing. And she was just like, okay, like, what's up? Like, that's it, And I think there's even a way to make sure that your customer feels like they're important, that they are heard and whatnot too. So again, they went into fix it mode, tried to correct it, but I think it's more to it when you're addressing.
So it's kind of like, if you're in the hospital, right? Or you going for your doctor's appointment, that bedside manner means a lot. Yeah. Even though I do understand I'm not your only patient, so I'm not your only customer. I understand that we had an issue over here, right? But once again, that tableside manner or that customer service, just to say, look, I apologize for that hair being in your food. Is there anything else that we can get you? Of course, by that time, you don't want nothing on the menu, okay? Been there, done that. I don't want nothing to eat. Like, maybe I'm good. I don't even want the water, okay? Like, my stomach is done, okay? I'm done. But I'm not making a big scene about it. So I think in that instance, it definitely could have been. And also not just me take it off, right? Because I've had instances where people are like, oh, well, let me get my manager to see if they're going to take it off. Baby, you don't have to see if they're going to take it off. They're going to take it off, right?
And the butts.
Like, this is not a non-negotiable, like, well, we brought it to you, so you got to pay for it. Well, no, I'm not going to pay for it. But they could have offered a voucher. They could have offered a certificate, a gift card or something, just going that extra step, because then sometimes people will try an establishment again, whether it's food, whether it's potentially a hair salon, unless you just had the most horrible experience. That you like.
That's a good point. And sometimes people just want to be heard. And just to give you an example of that, I was with Debbie J from the podcast. We went out for Legacy West, this place called Italia. So obviously it's not a Black-owned business, but I'm using this just to compare the responses of the manager, right? So the manager, it took them forever. It was like an hour and 20 minutes when we finally got our food. And right before they brought it out, she was like, hey, I want to talk to the manager. And it's because it's been too long. So the waitress went and got the manager. She was like, one moment, and it was 30 seconds. And she came over. She's like, hey, I'm the customer experience manager. I just want to check in and like, what's going on? And she told her, she's like, well, I'm so sorry. The kitchen is busy, but however, there's no excuse. So we're going to make sure that we try to make this right. We got a dessert menu. We can comp your appetizer and give you a dessert for free, if that's okay. Like, she went in and then asked us, instead of just saying like, hey, I'm taking that off, and just went on. And, again, they made her feel heard, and it kind of made everything okay.
Absolutely, because delivery means a lot, right? Like, we're not oblivious that certain times of the day and different things, establishments, places can be busy, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I say, even during the holidays and stuff, if you know you don't have patience, why are you going out there? Christmas and stuff come at the same time every single year. You waited to the last minute. Now you mad at everyone, okay?
Yeah.
If you know you don't have patience, help yourself help the other people, right?
Yeah. That's a good
Where
point.
you're just like, let me maybe shop online. Let me start in July, like start next month. Okay. Like doing these things so that one, you're not agitated, and then your agitation spills over to someone else who potentially might be having a good day. I used to work in retail. So it was days that I had people, here's your change, right? They putting stuff on the counter. I wasn't as mature, okay?
Mature as cold.
So your girl would put once you did it one time, then your money go on the counter, okay?
Yeah.
Now, was that right? No, but I was in a teachable moment.
Yeah, for sure. I get it. So, hey, we're going to go to a commercial break, and after commercial break, we come back and we're going to continue the discussion.
Sounds good.
Your success ain't gonna happen overnight. It may take a year, it may take 2 years, it may even take 10 years. For some people, it might take even longer than that. But one thing I do know, as long as you keep fighting and staying consistent, you will make it. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you gonna make it?
Creed. Step in that water. Yeah. You gotta be willing to go out and get it. You gotta dive in it, go and get it. Step in that water. Yeah.
All right. Welcome back. That's my boy Miracle Hendricks. He is the official barber for the Floor is Yours podcast. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you need to get lined up, edged up, get your beard maintenance, and or just a shave, hit him up. He'll get you hooked up. Miracle Hendricks. He's out in the Colony, Texas, here in Dallas-Fort Worth. So, hey, we talked about this earlier, that some of the challenges that we face as a Black-owned business, in our community, and some of it is a lack of training, a lack of self-awareness. So, I'm gonna ask the audience this, and if you don't mind putting in the comments, like, what are some of your individual chief complaints when you've visited a Black-owned business that you would like for us to talk about? But I'm gonna ask you, Carleeka, like, what are some of the problems that Black businesses face that other communities may not have to face? And, it could be dealing with resources, location, overhead, whatever. Like, let's talk about some of the challenges that are unique to Black-owned businesses. Not making excuses for them, but these are real things that we need to consider when we're talking about how to make them better.
I think a lot of times we talk about support, right? And just because your business Black, that don't mean people gonna support it.
What?
Right? Like, it needs to be, you need to have all of these things, but I do think some of those barriers, making no excuses, is that a lot of people are running businesses solo, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have more hands, or as they're expanding, right? Some people might be looking at the dollar signs in expansion, but do you have the people? Do you have the manpower, woman power, whatever, let's add everyone in here. Do you have the power to accommodate the expansion? Right? Because praise God that you're expanding, but if this is putting a stretch on you and maybe one other person that's working with you, so we need to really analyze all of the things before even just starting. And especially like brick and mortar businesses, and now because so much is online, like, a lot of can be misconstrued through email, right? Things can be misconstrued, but don't try to over deliver. Just deliver on what you said you're going to do.
Yeah, that's important. Sometimes we're excited about this business, and again, you may lack resources. You're family owned. It may just be you. You could have an amazing product or service, but know your limitations, right?
Yeah, and especially until you can hire more people, or you have some type of program where people can students or someone can be interns or something where you can actually just deliver on your deliverables, and that's a huge thing for me. We see it in the coaching and consulting spaces and all of these spaces, like, oh, we can do this and overnight shipping and this, that, and the third. Wholeheartedly, you don't cover yourself. Right. And when I say cover yourself, maybe you can get it done. Say you paint or something, right? Or you resurface cabinets. Even if you can get it done in 3 days, give yourself that grace to say 7. Why do you think business say 7 to 10 days? Because if you get it earlier, oh my God, like I got it earlier than expected. But if you get it by day 10, you're still within that expectancy of 7 to 10 business days, right? And so I think just deliver on your deliverables and really knowing, like you said, Gerard, know your limitations, know when you need to ask for help, right? Because in the long run, sometimes that hurt people.
Yeah.
And then people have no faith or no trust in your business anymore because they just like, oh, nah.
Yeah, that's cool because you get that one time to make that first impression. But what's they saying though? Over promise and under deliver. Yeah, that can be a real issue. So when you're talking about ways to manage that or mitigate that, I know some businesses don't open every day from 9 to 5. They have adjusted hours because they're limited staff and they got to clean, and especially if it's a restaurant, a lot of Black-owned restaurants like Soul Food that open up on Sundays, they'll take a Monday and a Tuesday and even sometimes a Wednesday off. And they may only be open Thursday, through Sunday. Some restaurants open up at 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. But
I think that comes with knowing your audience, right? So when you really know your market, and once you've realized, okay, we don't really do the best numbers on this day. So we have to imitate every single business, and especially if you're a small business and you're not a chain restaurant or a chain business or anything like that. And even those businesses have slow moments, right? So it's really learn your audience, learn your customer, learn your market. So then you can really decide, do we really need to be open 7 days a week? Or like you said, do we only need to be open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we hit all of our revenue goals plus some and we sell out?
Yeah, that's true. I've seen other people put a message out like, hey, we're only taking 10 orders. And they let you know when that 10 orders is gone, it's gone. But that's them knowing their capacity, knowing what they are able to handle.
That's right. I'm going to say one of my pet peeves, okay? Because you said that we talking about this timing and stuff.
Okay.
Y'all make sure your business hours are correct online.
Tell us about it. What happened?
Because locally here, I've drove to this business twice.
Yeah.
Okay. And each time I done pulled up, ain't nobody there.
Yeah.
So I done did it twice. And I have not did it again. Now, the reviews of people, they're like, oh my God, the food is so good. The wings, this, that, and the third, because I want to support. But how can I support if you ain't open?
Yeah.
How can I support that even if you sold out at 12 o'clock? Can you put a notification? Can you do something to say, hey, we sold out, we closed, okay? Yeah. Or something, because now it would be no different if your favorite TV show kept being delayed or not coming on when it's supposed to come on. You're going to find you another show to watch.
Yeah, for sure. That is so true. Yeah, get them hours.
And answer the phone.
Yeah.
And respond to your emails in a timely manner.
Hey, so you really bring up a challenge that I want to talk about, like the resources, the overhead, and all that stuff that you take on. Because again, if you got a good product, the customers are going to come. So that'd be the thing. Like you get them there, but how do you keep them? And part of that is, the whole customer service, arena. But a lot of times, these are not chain restaurants. So my question to you, how much grace should we have when we're visiting a Black establishment? Should we have the same standard? Or, I know they're subjective, each person is different, but how would you, if you was a consultant, a customer or talking to a customer, like, hey, we're going to go to this restaurant right here, but hey, treat my people right. You know, are you going to give them grace because they're a Black-owned business, or are you going to expect there what you get out of Chili's or Papa Do's or something?
So first off, I'm not like a blindsided person, and I love to support businesses.
Yeah.
So for me, it would be the fact of you just show up and do what you're supposed to do. Because I'm gonna extend grace.
Mm-hmm.
But how far does that go if you just being rude? How far does that go if you just don't know how to communicate? Maybe you just need to training over again or refresher, or maybe you need to be put in a different position for that day, right?
Well,
And
what if it's, you know how busy brunch can get, and they have 3 or 4 people out there to service hundreds, so that's pretty popular, pretty frequently happening in Black establishments. So what advice would you give in those instances?
Look, I love me some brunch spots, okay? So because I know I'm not the only one out there, make sure you go with a good group of people, right?
Okay.
Because we went to some brunch spots and the wait like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Or longer.
There's sometimes just to even sit down.
To sit down, get your little buzzer and you go sit in the car or do whatever until that thing buzz off on your table. But I think you have to decide in that moment, how bad do I want this food? And then if I have the time, right, I'm going to wait because I want to eat here. Like, this is what I got dressed to come out and do. So we just going to wait. And if you have the time and that's what you want, then you already know. But if you've already been there or you've watched the reviews and different things, prime example, a food truck came out here last week or so, and I missed it on Tuesday, Black owned. And I was just like, but I'm going to make sure, we go support and check it out. People was raving, said the food was good. Food was good. The wait time.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But I couldn't even be mad, right? Because my food was fresh and it was hot. So they're cooking this to order. So me thinking, I was like, no, that's actually really good because you're talking about seafood, you're talking about chicken wings, you're talking about different things. Like, who wants cold fish? Who wants cold shrimp? Nobody.
Yeah.
So you have to keep in mind that this food is not sitting under them lamps, right? It is cooked to order. So now, only thing I would have suggested to them, you just need probably another set of hands that could do this while you and the other person doing this and someone else is doing whatever they're doing, right? But I couldn't even, as bad as I wanted to be like, dang, we waited like a pretty good time,
Yeah.
for a food truck.
Shouldn't that be somewhat understood if you're going somewhere and there's 2 people working there and you ordering that it's going to be a wait? And I say that because should I? I'm gonna say should I go and write this nasty review about how long it takes when I see? I mean, isn't that understood with food?
If you would think so. All I would tell someone, because I did do a review I did a video on TikTok, right? But my thing is this: all I was just like, hey, if you in a rush, make sure you get there when they first open in that food truck.
Yeah, I like that. And sometimes it's just how you present it. Yeah.
Just letting them know, hey, it was a long line, but that's good business, okay? Yeah. And the lady at the window, she was nice, and she was like, okay, and it was orderly, right? It wasn't a bunch of dysfunction or anything. It's just, hey, if you're in a rush, you either want to get there when the food truck first pulling up, and they start at 3:30, you want to be in line at 3:15, right? Yeah. Other than that, to see the line and the people out there, and a lot of us supporting. No one was getting an attitude. No one's out there getting all about it because like, oh my God, my food not ready. Everyone waited. You had community. You had conversations going on, even with a little drizzle, okay? People waited for their food, but I thought about it and I said, well, we wait in these long lines when we go to Disney and places, right? For that food that's been sitting under them hot lamps.
Yeah. That is true.
Feeding thousands and millions of people a day, and you just going to grab some stale, hot, heated fries under a lamp. I could not give a bad review for the time because my food was cooked to order and it was cooked fresh. So what was there really to complain about? Just understand you need about an hour, 20 minutes of your time. And that's from start to finish to get your food.
Yeah, a couple things. So I like the way you present that. So I can say, hey, this food is amazing, but just make sure you give yourself time because they cook the order. The food's gonna come out fresh, and it's gonna, it's gonna take a little bit. And the other thing I like that you talked about the community, like when everybody is there hanging and supporting, it's like there's something to be said about that, right?
Right. And it was because I was able to meet some people who follow me on social media, and it was like, oh my God, you're able to have conversations, right? You're able to see people that you probably have not seen in a while, or you get to even meet some new people, right?
Yeah.
So so I couldn't give a bad review because of the long wait time or anything. Yeah. Just you want to get in and out, be there when that food truck pulling up and they getting set up.
Yeah, come on, celebrity. Did you sign some autographs too?
Not today. Not that day. Not that day.
So, hey, yeah, so everybody, we're talking about minding our Black-owned businesses, doing more than complaining. How can we change our mindsets about these Black establishments in our neighborhood? How can we hold each other accountable? How can we make sure that we are being the polite person that we want the business to be too? So it's not just we show up and the customer is always right. Like we want to make sure that we're good customers as well too. So
absolutely, be the person that you want to be served.
Yeah.
Right, because a lot of times we have all these expectations.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't even be that person. Like, be that person on the other end that is happy to serve yourself. Right.
That's good. Yeah. And again, it's we're talking about building generational wealth. And one way that people are doing it is through the restaurant businesses or some other business. It don't have to be just a restaurant. But we want to do what we can to help Black businesses strive. We did a show a couple months ago during the Target Fast, and it was called the Black Dollar, and we've talking about where to spend it. And that's the thing is, if we're going to be conscious enough and consider where we're going to spend our business, I think we need to be in the know about the challenges that come with Black businesses too. Now, this is not giving any excuse for bad behaviors, but I think when we understand the challenges, for me, it makes me a little more empathetic and a little more patient when I'm dealing. And
we're all humans, right?
Oh man, that's good. That's good.
Right. It's even as parents, every day you might not feel like being the best parent that you know how to be. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe something happened at work. Maybe something happened on your commute in transition. Right. And if you don't really handle it or know how to handle it, you may bring that home with you.
Yeah.
And the kids looking at you like, we didn't do nothing to you. Right. But what they don't understand is something happened at work, or something happened at your bank account, or something happened with, a bill or whatever that may be. And so I do think extending that grace.
Yeah.
Like you said, not making excuses. But everyone is not just walking around with a bad attitude. Maybe someone just got a bad phone call, but they still got to show up on that register. They still got to show up for that client, right? And maybe they just needed a moment to walk away, but all the time, you don't get a moment to walk away.
Hey, maybe you're the cashier and the waitress too, and you're limited on your ability to serve. Again, these are people.
Maybe you a menopausal woman and you did not sleep good and you having a hot flash and you in that kitchen with that hot grease.
Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Yeah. So you're right. Anybody could be going through anything. And the thing is, just be polite. And, I know we're a society that we're used to what we say, I know what I want. I know what I deserve. And if you ain't contributing to my happiness, and sometimes that translates over to like this elitist mindset, right. Like I deserve the best at all times from everyone. And if not, I'm keeping my dollars. And I just think that's not the best way to walk through.
And you society. Do deserve the best. That establishment deserves the best. But if we don't say something, right? And even with a review, I can't tell someone not to write a review or not. But if you're not even taking maybe the time while you're there to see if you're able to speak to someone while you're there, sometimes what do they know what to change if everyone is just like, oh, I just don't like them.
In and out.
What does that mean? Why don't you like them? Why don't you support their business? Okay, was it the customer service? What's the food? Because I often say too, just because you're a business and bake cakes, that don't mean I don't need the cake just to look pretty. I want it to taste good.
Yeah. Take your time
Right?
with it. Yeah. Mix them ingredients right. Yeah. Hey, and here's the last thing before we get out of here. You can't fix every problem. Don't get into no fight up and over with them people trying to tell them about their restaurant and their business and their service because some people are a little different these days. Right?
But I think it's twofold, Gerard. A lot of times, you know how salesmen, right? And people be like, oh my God, they just keep following me. They keep following me.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy nothing right now. Okay. Well, at least they're persistent. Now, when someone politely tells you, I'm good, I'm just looking, I will come to you if I need something, that customer is politely letting you know to back off, leave me alone. And if I have a question, I will come and find you. Right.
Yeah.
Then you have the other side of it where you get people who never come and check on you.
Yeah.
And some people are fine with that because if you get, a lot of men, TJ and I were having this conversation the other day, was like, most men know what they're going in the store to get, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They know where it is, they go get it, and they out the store, right? Not that they don't want good customer service, but at the end of the day, I don't need you to get too personable with me. I'm not going to ask you a bunch of questions, and I don't want you asking me a bunch of questions either. I came in, made my purchase, paid, I'm out the door. Women, we're typically a little different, some of us, because I know some women who are just like, no, I'm in and out.
Yeah.
Where, me, I might have a conversation with the person stocking. I might have right?
If I ever go to the store with you, I'm staying in the car, just so you know.
Don't do that.
Okay, my bad.
Don't do that. Okay. But yes, customer service goes a long way. You all not only give the businesses grace, but give them, and everyone all the time is not receptive of information, whether that's constructive criticism, and that's not just business. Some of us are not acceptable of constructive criticism, even when it's said in the nicest way possible, right?
Yeah.
But give some advice that's going to help them. If you want to write your reviews, go ahead, write your reviews. That's your business. But if you have something that you can offer as just a compliment or something, kindness goes a long way, right?
It does.
And remember, you was not their only customer today. And they might have got cussed out earlier over something that was not even their fault, potentially.
Yeah. And ain't getting tipped, which, we'll talk about that on another show too. But yeah, you're right. It could be a number of things going on. You, as the customer that's visiting, you have responsibilities too. So I think
let's work together, right?
Yeah.
Retain your customers. Make me want to do business with you.
Yeah.
Not because you're over delivering, but you deliver on the deliverables that you say.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So,
and quit comparing these Black-owned businesses to these multi-million-dollar establishments with just as many employees as they got customers. So again,
and some of them are not the best.
They're not. And here's the thing, we're not telling you not to leave a review. Sometimes it's the best way for people because they want feedback sometimes.
They need it. It's market research.
Yeah, for sure. But be honest. And even if I'm not having a bad day, if I am having a bad day, I think I need to be aware of that when I'm writing my review. My temper was short. I waited too long to go eat. And now I'm mad because, they cooked me some fresh fish. Like, that sounds foolish, but that's happened.
And the fish was good. Okay.
Fish was good. Yeah, they cooked it fresh, but I was mad because I waited too late to go eat. But
so now I was hangry.
Yeah, I'm hangry. That's what it is. So, yeah. So why don't you give them some parting thoughts, something to take away and think about the next time we go visit a Black-owned business?
So go in with an open mind, right? And then just offer good customer service yourself as the customer. We've seen it on both ends. So even as the customer, you can offer good customer service as you're going into an establishment. And even if it's something that you don't like and different things, everyone have their own preference when it comes to food or items and different things, smells and all the things. You have customer service, right?
Yeah.
You be kind. And sometimes your kindness can definitely, it will open up, sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of times I've seen it, it'll open up conversations. And then when you go back the next time, that you already considered a regular now, right?
Yeah.
Once you go back the second time, because you extended grace, you extended kindness in that moment, and now the person that told you their whole life, right? They done told you all the things, the name, you done met their kids in their head and everything. Like, we friends now.
Yeah.
And so you show, as the customer, go in to show some customer service, even when we're rushing and different things. Look, what time a lot of stores and stuff be busy? And times of the year, like, this nothing new. So if you don't have patience, don't go.
Don't go.
If you're in a rush.
Order for pickup something, right? A number of things.
There's so many options now, right? We have you don't even have to drive to a lot of these places. So you have a lot of options. But as you're going in, go in with an open mind. Be kind. You exemplify great customer service. And if it's not what you're looking for, you still get to choose where you want to go.
Yeah, it's good. And customer service is one of those things. Again, I think it's to show like it's reciprocated. I need to be a good customer, and I do want good customer service as well. But I'm going to show grace, and I don't come in with this privileged mindset like I need you to treat me like I am the Queen of England or something like that, right? No, yeah, I'm spending my money there, but absolutely, I'm my money and me. You are just as important as my money and me too. So I want to make sure that you feel that way as well. And that old saying that the customer is always right. That ain't true. It's a good headliner, and it puts you in the mindset to make sure that you're treating your customer right. But yeah, the customer is not always right. So let's be realistic. Let's be kind. Let's be empathetic, and just give people grace. And I think that we all going to live happily ever after.
And we just pray that your businesses be prosperous, right?
Yeah.
Do what you say you're gonna do, and Gerard said earlier, right? Like, the people that's complaining ain't even the ones building nothing, right? Okay, we done.
Man, I'm glad you said that, man. Please, yes, yeah.
Right. Some of the people that's really always complaining, or you just bought the cheapest thing in the store, right? And you want the whole kitchen sink, like. And so people try to compare brands, right? Oh, well, when I go over here, they just wait on me hand and foot. That's what they're trained for. This is how they built this. It's like Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. Chick-fil-A, they have trained people to say my pleasure, right?
Yeah.
Have a good day.
You come to expect it too. So hats off to Chick-fil-A. They got it figured out, but they got the resources, they got the capital. They got the experience, the training, and again, not giving.
And this is the thing, G. We can adapt and adopt some of these. Even though you're a small business, think like a big business. Even if currently you are the marketing department, you are the secretary, you may even be the cook and the janitor and all of the things, right?
So how you gonna learn those things then? How can you learn that stuff? YouTube? I mean, there's a lot of videos out there. You just ask around, and really just being polite goes a long way. Even if you're not as, even
if you don't consider yourself like the most people person, because I feel like we make a lot of excuses, right, for characteristics. Well, I'm just not a people person. Well, don't get any.
That's a good point.
You don't have to be a people person to be kind.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, right? I'm not a people person, but you're a person.
Yeah.
You're a human, and you deserve to be treated with respect, and respect is earned. It's not given. Well, make sure you giving what you want.
That's good. When I did EO in the Army, one of our main things of saying was everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. And I think if we do that and everything branches out from there, we're going to be okay.
Absolutely. So kindness 101, y'all.
101.
Just be kind. We got enough negativity going on in the world. Show some kindness, right? And that kindness starts at your kitchen table and branches out when you leave the house to go to these establishments. That's whether you're buying online, in person. But To those who have businesses, kudos to you for taking the leap, right? Kudos for you for not throwing in the towel when you probably didn't have any customers, or the month was a little low, or you didn't meet the revenue goal, or someone quit, right? It's so many other things that's going on behind the scenes. So congratulations to you to keep going and to keep pushing. And those areas that are weaker, look, go ahead and work on them.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if you got to adjust your hours, the services and goods that you offer, do all that. But, just explore all opportunities to grow and improve your business. So that's
Absolutely.
it. So, Ms. Carleeka, you got a lot going on. You got a lot going on in the community, and, you're an entrepreneur as well. So tell us what you got going on and how people can reach out to you if they need to.
Pray for your girl. Okay. I'm soliciting prayers. So what do we have going on? July 1st. June 1st is gone, y'all. Okay, July 1st, we have our monthly menopause meetup, which is virtually. And one thing that we always hear, people are looking for affordability and accessibility. Everything that we do is affordable and it's accessible in the women's wellness and health space, specifically menopause. But we will have an endocrinologist, Dr. Seibel, will be joining us on July 1st, 6 p.m. Virtually, you can register on Eventbrite or go to bit.ly/hormone harmony. We will be talking about hormones. And then July, we also have our breakthrough experience class that will be starting. So if you want to get registered for that, you're like, you know what, I'm tired of playing small, and I'm tired of not taking a leap, and I'm tired of all these barriers that I keep allowing to stop me from going forth, then you want to be in the breakthrough experience. And that starts in July, bit.ly/TBE life.
And we can put the in the comments.
Yep, I sure will.
Send them in. I'll make sure I blast it out to everybody too.
Appreciate
and last thing for me, this weekend is a special weekend for men that have kids, men that don't have kids, may have bonus kids, or just play that fatherly role. It's not as popular as Mother's Day weekend. It's Father's Day, but we ain't comparing, are we?
No, don't compare.
We ain't comparing.
I mean, there's really no comparison.
Right? I know. It's a men rule.
We all rule together, okay? We all rule together. But you're right. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to the fathers that's out there.
Look, go back and catch the episode from Healthy Chats with me and Gerard for Father's Day.
It was an excellent conversation. And one thing that we talked about was the importance, not the presents like gifts, but the presence being there, showing yourself, being there, available for that person. So
are you traveling the weekend? Because I know you be, international and that's all over.
I think it's still more than 2 days. But yeah, I'm actually going home. I'll be with my parents. So it's Father's Day, so I'll be celebrating them. And then my mother's birthday is next week too. So we'll do it all in one. So yeah, I'll be home.
I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Happy Father's Day to all the amazing dads out there, dads to be, mentor dads, whatever your title is. Yeah. Look, enjoy the weekend, be safe, and then let them kids love on y'all. Okay. Yeah. Be emotionally connected.
Please. Hey, and you didn't say how to reach out to you on social media, or did you?
I did not. So if you go Carleeka Bass Night Menendez across all social media platforms.
Yeah. If you see that name, it's her. Trust me. It ain't nobody else. There is another.
Literally C to Z. Okay, for real.
Yeah, cool.
But look, we'll be back with you all. Me and Gerard get a date together. If you all enjoyed this conversation, anything particular you all want us to talk about and discuss, let us know. And it don't take us. We just text each other and be like, "Hey, we hopping on. Let's go."
Oh yeah, we got a couple hot topics we're gonna bring up. So
absolutely. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you.
Hey, likewise. So we're gonna close out. We're gonna do this song. Come back and say one more goodbye, and then we'll be off here.
Won't need another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, you need it for you. Yeah, baby, I'm all there for you. Baby, come down to the for you. Let me show you how to the for you.
you know, be better. Hype your bestie up. Hype your bestie up. Hey, thanks again.